This is a cool knife. I bought it about 2 years ago from Amazon, and finally the tabletop is here. This is the information I can provide you on the Enlan EL-06 series. Tactical EDC folding knife. 35 bucks on Amazon. Super cheap. Pretty excellent too. I don't know if they have this tan digital camo version anymore. I jumped in there today to see what versions of the EL-06 are being produced, and I saw a black bladed, black handled version. Still really cool, but this one, I don't know, maybe discontinued. If I find the links, I'll put it below. The EL-06. Now, of course, this knife follows the patterning of a different blade, which is about $500. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called the large Sebenza. Not exactly, but the lines remind me of a Sebenza. And this isn't the first blade that's done it. So I've always loved the lines of a Sebenza. I've said that many times. The lines of the EL-06 pretty much follow it. Not exactly, but they're inspired by the Sebenza, I would say. But a beautiful clip blade on the Sebenza 21. Such a cool blade. Just cost is insane. So how many of these could you buy for one of those? A lot. So you could outfit all your friends and family with Enlan. I'm saying Enlan. It's E-N-L-A-N, EL-06s. And by the way, that's not the first time we've seen the Sebenza pattern emerge. I reviewed this one like in 2010 or so. It is the VTech. Looks like a small Sebenza, doesn't it? Aluminum scales. And I think this was VG10 steel, and this Taiwanese produced VTech. And it's actually more closely following the Sebenza than this is, because this has a completely different handle design, and there are some differences in the blades, as you can see. But, you know, the inspiration, I think, comes from the Sebenza. And then, by the way, coming up for review is the Begleiter A2. Not really a total Sebenza style of knife. It's a Kaiser blade, but again, I think it's drawing its inspiration from that. So again, we see all types of different, you know, morphs and interpretations and copying of different blades. It just goes on and on. It's cool, though. For a consumer, it's really awesome. And the real Sebenzas are out there. So if you got the money, I say pony up, bro, and make it happen. But if you don't, you might want to consider this one. What's that? What's hanging out up there in the upper right of the screen? Oh, funny you should ask. We need a tabletop decoration for this knife review. And so I'm going to roll in a 144 scales Zaku. Oh, that's cool, dude. First time I've shown a Zaku from the Gundam series. Now, this is what you should know. The boys have a complete collection of Gundams in their inventory. And I'm talking the ones they put together, all types of interpretations. I texted Tactical Doodle. I said, hey, dude, I'm going to roll your Zaku in front of the screen and do a mini review. What should I tell him? If you guys know the Zaku series, the Gundam series, this will make sense to you. If not, bear with me. It's still kind of fun. And we're talking about this particular one. TD says the Zaku was the first mass-produced suit in the Gundam series. The bad guys made them, then they laid waste to the fighters and tanks the good guys used. They were effective at first, but quickly outclassed by following designs. So they were increasingly used for rear line support and less important objectives. The particular one was issued, they're talking this one, was issued as a sniper suit by the Ace Thunderbolt, or in Thunderbolt. He reasoned that since he was by far and away the best pilot, he didn't need much of a mobile suit. So he gave me the Amazon link. I said, where did you get the model? Did you put it together? He's like, yeah, I did. It is the Bandai Hobby HG Gundam Thunderbolt model kit in 144 scale. Comes in different colorations. Knife review. Oh, I will. We're just taking a breather. Awesome. So he did some of the painting on this, and it comes with a very cool base for display. Full articulation in these Bandai 144 scale, so they're great for presentation. If you don't know what a mobile suit is, it's basically piloted by a dude in the helmet. And so they would have combat against each other with large-scale weapons, plasma, phased array weapons, depleted uranium rounds. Pretty cool. I didn't watch the Gundam series, but the boys love it. There you go. Tabletop decoration. Kind of a cool history. Embedded mini review as his hand falls off. I need to super glue that, by the way. I love the coloration on this too, by the way. It reminds me of that PRG watch, that Casio that I reviewed. Let's look at the blade closely. It is a 9CR13 MOV in this Gundam knife. I mean EL06 knife. Again, I just love the blade shape. It's perfect. It's hollow ground. The edge could be better. It needs to be worked. I mean, don't ever do this, but you should never be able to do this to a knife that comes out of box. Don't do this. I'm just showing it by way of demonstration. You'll cut yourself. But I could tell immediately it's just not a great edge, so I need to put some work on it. You do have a removable thumb stud right here, and I can use my consistent angle sharpener and put a wicked edge on it. Maybe slightly more rust resistance, an 8CR13 MOV, a little bit more chromium in it. Nice Teflon. Actually, I don't think that's Teflon. I think that's a DLC coating on this 9CR13 MOV blade. Nice milling on the top. Let's look at the speed of deployment. Single thumb stud. So righties will love it. Lefties won't like it so much because it only has an indentation on one side. Put some power behind it. Really fast deployment. Lockup is perfection in this model. Good thing too, because it has a proprietary pivot point there. You would need a special tool. I have seen them made. They do that as a design feature and it looks good, but it's not very practical. Single side adjustable only, which again might be a problem because if centering gets off, you can only adjust it one side. Sometimes that may be a problem as well. I see phosphor bronze bushings down there. The lockup and the timing are shown hints. It is a captured liner lock. Again, a big variance from the Sebenza style of knife. So this really is its own creature. It's not really Sebenza, just in blade shape more or less. And actually, the hardened stainless steel liner is pretty thick, a lot thicker than some EDC blades that I've reviewed in the past. Some serrating going on there. G10 handle scales, which in this version are coated, which will look cool, and it does, but it's going to, lessen the traction you'd gain off the G10. Most of the Chinese knives, when they have G10, it's medium or low traction on the scales. Not bad. I mean, it's okay. I'm going to put Zaku in the picture more. He's checking the knife out too. He's digging it. I like it, but I would say low traction with the coating on it. There's centering. It is a little bit off, rubbing slightly on that one liner. Remember the price point. Let's check retention. See if I can shake it out. Got my light in the way. Yeah, it works. Thickness is as follows. Where did my measuring device go? I'm pretty much talking in millimeters now. I like it. It's just more precise and easier. So in thickness without the clip, 12.8 millimeters. We'll call it 13. The blade thickness, by the way, is 3.2 millimeters. And length, I think I wrote it down in inches, but we'll just do it in millimeters right here, more or less. About 90 millimeters in length. You can take it apart if you need to. A couple standoffs in there. Criticism I will level is it's not skeletonized at all. But again, this knife is a couple years old when I bought it from Amazon. And so it doesn't have any skeletonizing in there. It does have a polished clip in this version. Other ones may have a blackened or camoed clip. I'm not sure. It works okay though, but thematically, digital desert camo with a polished stainless steel clip, yeah, it doesn't look good. It needs to be Cerakoted by myself. Also, this portion will protrude out of the pocket. Not a super low carry. There is a lanyard hole there. Let's check out any hot spots. None detected. Pretty ergonomic knife, actually. There is a small run of jimping right here. It is functional, relatively sharp, surprisingly. Very surprisingly. Now, I'm going to roll in another one of those knives I showed earlier, Zaku Thunderbolt. And I'll answer the question which I would buy between these two. I will review this one separately. It is, again, the Kaiser Begleiter A2. It's going to be lighter, 3.8 ounces. The reason for the lightness is, well, of course, it has a thinner blade, thinner handle set, but also you'll notice some skeletonizing down here. So Kaiser gets it. It is also a Chinese company, super high quality. The blades coming out of China for years have been very impressive. If you say otherwise, you have not been paying attention. They're very good. Kaiser's a good example. I guess Enlan is another great example of it too. So this one is thinner in presentation, at least in this dimension here. It's going to be thicker here, skeletal construction with standoffs, a little bit thinner blade, no jimping whatsoever. Which one would I prefer between the two? About $42 for this one, $35 for that one. So they're basically the same price. I like the G10 on the Kaiser a little bit better. It's more grippy. I would probably prefer the Kaiser a little bit more just because it's lighter and it has a thinner, full flat ground blade in this version. I like that better. VG10 in this. The 9CR13 MOV versus VG10, to me that's kind of a toss-up. Very similar actually in edge holding, with the edge maybe going to 9CR surprisingly. In my own experience, I just think they hold an edge better than VG10. This has some blue accents around the pivot bolts. Kind of cool. So I would probably go with this one, but this one is a very close second. It really is. For 35 bucks, yeah, Zaku model not included. You'll have to buy that separately. Great kid toy, by the way. Great kid project, the Zaku models. Bandai. Put your hand down there, dude, like you're grabbing your gun. But this knife is highly recommended. The Enlan EL06. I would classify it philosophically as mostly an EDC blade, but it could function as a tactical blade as well, for sure. Definitely worth your $35 just to try it out. See if you like it. Nut and fancy.